Billy had their press conference today. Billy, I said Billy not happy. Obviously, it's a little bit of a stretch. I think he's a little. I mean, he kind of came in first thing first, was just saying, "Hey, we struggled in the red zone again." That was something that was a point of emphasis last week. They're still struggling there. The perimeters, tight ends, wide receivers, not blocking, just in general, not looking the greatest. So there was definitely some frustration on those ends. And he had something to say, too, about Anthony Richardson, was great to hear as well. Let me pull my notes up here so I can read them off to you guys so I don't look like a complete buffoon for you. Something that kind of disappointed me, which I've been hearing, but coming out of Billy's mouth broke my heart a little bit. He said Montreal, he didn't say this, but it was the way he positioned the subject. He said Montreal and Wright, yep, they look like they're 1-2, like not 1-2, just kind of, he categorized them. He goes, they're doing great, really kind of found their home. And then he said Lorenzo and the freshmen look really good, right? So to me, you're kind of separating them into two categories, in my opinion, is how it was portrayed. And I've been seeing a lot of comments that Wright and obviously Montreal are going to do it. Montreal coming from that offense, and then Naquan had a great season last year. I mean, he was behind Malik Davis and Damian Pierce, who are just dominating the NFL right now in the preseason. So for him to be behind those two studs, there's a lot of experience there from Naquan Wright. And again, I want all these guys to do well. Obviously, we have more of a personal bias for Lorenzo. That's, I think, where you and I both are. Obviously, I just want whichever is going to be best for the team. And I think they're all in that category. Lorenzo, he talked about in our interview, he wants to be impactful on the special teams. That's something that Billy brought up as well, too.
Yeah, I mean, look, Lorenzo's since we've gotten to know him, he's always been a guy who he wants to be out there. He wants to have an opportunity to make a play. He doesn't care where it is. If it's on special teams, it's on special teams. If he's the guy who's a situational back that's going to come in, maybe for a couple of package plays, or maybe even just a third down, quick threat out of the backfield. Look, these guys have been committed to the team. They've been committed to their conditioning, and obviously the season's right around the corner. I don't think anybody at this point is gonna get their feelings hurt if they're not 1A or 1B on the depth chart. They'll have a plan for Lorenzo. They'll have a plan to get him out there regardless. And I have no doubt that when he gets his opportunity, he's going to take the absolute most of it. So look forward to seeing him out there, though. I am pumped, and it's like Spurrier said, it's talking season. I'm ready for some football.
Yeah, absolutely. And then he talked about too, because they kept asking about, obviously, at the press conference about AR. And this is kind of what he had to say, a quick little summary. He said, I think the big challenge for Anthony right now is for him to be fully embraced, and basically said, like, look, I'm the standard. Match my detail, match my intensity, match my focus, match my approach. When he's walking around, if anybody's got a question about how things should be done when it comes to the University of Florida and our football program, they should be able to look at the quarterback and say, okay, I'm going to watch him, and then I'm going to do what he does. So how to take that, I don't know if he's saying that's what he's wanting, if that's what's happening. Billy's very kind of keeps it close to the chest. Is that a subtle nudge of like, look, you're doing a great job. I need more of this. And I'm going to kind of just sprinkle a little bit here in the press conference to reemphasize it, because he probably already said it to Anthony, like, look, you're the guy that I need everyone to look up to. He said this too, which was interesting. He says, I know we all want to put a crown on his head, but the guy has completed 33 passes in his career. I know the great quarterback at the University of Florida, they've completed 33 in one game. So he kind of is bringing everyone down to a notch a little bit of like, look, I know you guys are excited. The guy's an athletic freak, and he says, look, couldn't ask for a better guy in terms of humility, consistency, the attitude. I think he's bright. He's got character. He does all the things that you would want a quarterback to do. Like, the guys are really an inexperienced player. So I don't know if Billy's just kind of playing the system a little bit, or look, he's trying to settle the expectations early. He's managing them very early and saying, look, you guys want to think this guy's going to come out and be a Heisman candidate because everybody's saying he's going to be a Heisman. He's going to be top 5 on Mel Kiper's draft board. I see this guy play every day. Let's just tone it down a little bit. He's only got 3 completed passes. And look, we've got the little flack from the chat that have said that a few times of like he's only done a few things. And we get all that. And I think where this is all coming from, where it always stems from, is just the expectation of what we do expect and what we should expect based on just straight physicality alone, right? That's what the stars are there for us to have an expectation. I think this is him managing it, which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Saban does this a lot, right? Where it's like, look, it's going to be a shitty season, and they go 11-1 and lose to Georgia. Kind of
rebuilding year.
right? That's what I'm saying. Is that what it is? Is he's just like, look, I don't want you guys to come out, and it's him doing a great job of managing that, not gaslighting the situation. I don't know. What do you think?
Look, I mean, I hate to stay in the middle ground here and just kind of ride the rail, but I think it's a little bit of both. One, do we need to maybe manage expectations a little bit, because the kid really doesn't have a lot of football, at least what we've seen so far, a lot of football experience. He hasn't thrown a ton of passes. He hasn't run I think the full playbook for Billy yet. I mean, maybe, but at the same time, look, you have somebody who's that athletic that feels like they can go out there and they can make plays with not only their arm but their feet. It's a little bit of both. It's the Bill Belichick, Nick Saban approach. I think here it's bring down the expectation just a little bit, kill the hype a little bit. Obviously, state the real statistics here, which is the kid hasn't played a ton of football
Sure.
in Gainesville yet. So I think it's a little bit of both. It's playing the game a little bit, make sure that Anthony doesn't let any of this go to his head, but at the same time,
there could be some concerns there.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, that doesn't make me feel good, obviously, but
I think with the running back stable that you guys have, it'll help him tremendously to be able to turn around regardless of who's behind him, at the start of the play, and know that he's got that level of talent behind him. And obviously the offensive line looks like it's been playing a little bit better than I think some folks expected. So, is he going to come out there and be, a 5 wide, gunslinger style quarterback? No, I don't think anybody expects that out of Richardson. But being able to rely on the running game and the talent that you have behind him on the field is going to be hugely beneficial in getting the new offense installed and seeing some different things. So I'm confident that he'll have a good year. But throwing the Heisman out there when he hasn't had a lot of game time might be a little premature.
Lot of hype for sure. I totally agree. I think it's just managing that as well. Real quick though, super chat from Mama again, $1, and from Papa Stokes, $4.99 says hippo character with stars growing in his eyes, pumping his arms in the air with the word hype pulsating above him.
I'm pretty sure that if you're in the chat, you actually
can see the cool
hippo
sticker
with the. I'm not sure if we needed to quote it.
Yeah, I like reading it though. Johnny says, why isn't Lorenzo doing well? After spring, I thought he would be the starter. I could have swore 2 weeks ago he was kind of making a push. We came on here. I spoke about it. It was a pretty good look. I'm only speculating here. He didn't come out and actually say this is 1-2, this is 3-4. I'm not claiming that he did that.
There's no depth chart yet.
You have to read people, right? People have a nuance on the way they say things, and it was the way that he said it, the way that he positioned it and phrased it. It felt like these two are the 1-2 package punch, and being Montreal Johnson and Naquan Wright, and then these two. And then he combined the freshman with Lorenzo. Those two were in the same sentence. And look, that's huge for Trevor. I love hearing that, right? I mean, for the fact that those two are working out together, and he gets to come, working his way up, because we know Lorenzo. The guy's an absolute stud.
Amazing.
But it's kind of, it's close to the chest. There wasn't anything else more that I was able to get. Brian says, forget about Lingard. I don't want to, but I'm hoping that.
No, we will not. Not on this channel, damn it.
We will
not
never.
on this channel. Now, look, we talked about this quite a bit in the summer, leading up to even before fall practice started. But one huge factor that Montrell kind of has in his back pocket is that he played for Billy last year and transferred with him to Florida.
And he had a great freshman year. Freshman year.
Yeah.
Look, I think Montrell obviously is the better back.
Install that offense. Yeah. I think so. I think he's just, and not only that, but he knows the offense so well. Knows all the blocking assignments. He just knows the book well.
He's way ahead anybody else. So understanding the playbook is huge. The guy already has the physical attribute that he needs because he's there. But then knowing the playbook, knowing some of the offensive line, right? You've got a little bit of a relationship there. So all those things have a factor. The other thing too, Jack Miller, he's out for 2 to 3 weeks. He has a little thumb injury, which we would think it's not a big deal, but look, we know we've talked about it multiple times with the ability that Anthony Richardson could get hurt. Jack's been stepping it up. From what I've heard and what I've seen through video, it looks like he's really taken that second role seriously. He even admitted, I think, after the spring game, I sucked, basically, in so many words, and like I got to learn the playbook. I'm going to be better. So he obviously, that's going to be hurting us if that happens. It's 2 to 3 games that could be I mean, it could be Utah, Kentucky, and then we're looking at Max Brown, Kitna. Kitna seems to be the next guy after that, but these are young guys, and that would just be a little scary. If I'm being honest, that would hurt a little bit if that's the case. So hopefully we can get through and AR can stay healthy. Obviously, we don't want anything to happen to AR, but again, there's a history there, and we've got to be prepared for those things.
Sure.
So
yeah, depth is important. Look, in the fact, Florida fans have got to be extremely excited for the fact that that Miller had thumb surgery on, I want to say, his throwing hand, if I'm not mistaken. So that could be a little scary, right? The ability to not hold the football or not be able to squeeze the football, for a quarterback is, it's just a game change. The game's over right there. But look, the fact that he's only going to be out for a couple of games, at least you have got to be breathing a little bit a sigh of relief if you're a Florida fan, knowing that you're not losing your depth, for a significant amount of time. Couple of games, but you'll have him back pretty quickly.